Hello friends, welcome back. My name's Ramon. How are you today? Today I'm coming at you with a new Fenty Friday talking about the brand new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Skin Tints. Now, I'm really excited for these. I am definitely a little bit more of a matte finish, semi-medium to fuller coverage foundation kind of person, but I see the value in a skin tint. It doesn't always have to be full coverage, full matte all the time. This concept has been highly requested from Fenty for a very long time. Again, I was there in Sephora when the brand launched. I've kept track of the brand since its launch, and you know, not everyone wants full coverage. So seeing them really listening to what consumers want and finally getting around to making this kind of product is really exciting. So today we're going to talk about it. Considering the flexibility of a skin tint and how instead of having the normal 50 shades, they only launched with 25. I have 4 shades in front of me. For reference, generally I'm in the mid 200 to high 200 range. 290 is a really good undertone for me. So based off that and the information that Fenty Beauty released, I have 4 shades in front of me. I have number 8, number 9, number 10, and number 11 covering the majority of the 200 range. I'm going to be swatching them, comparing them to some other Fenty Holy Grail products, and then I'll be doing a full 8-hour wear test with them. But before I get into it, I'm going to ask to hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so that you know when I post more skincare, sunscreen, and Fenty related content on my channel. Give the video a thumbs up, and down below in the comments, tell me, did you get your hands on these? What are your thoughts on them? What shades did you get based off your Fenty foundation shade? And also, what are some of your other Fenty Beauty faves? Sound off. So again, it's really interesting and really cool to see this launch from Fenty. Again, they're just really expanding on the versatility of their line and the fact that they also listen to what their consumers want. And so seeing a sheerer skin tint's really exciting. Due to how the shades are really flexible, I was really confused as to what to get. The Fenty shades, while they do say they're like 1-to-1 across the board with the Pro Filt'r products, it's not the case. The powder, the matte foundation, the hydrating foundation vary substantially to me in my opinion. And I find the powder itself is a lot closer to my actual skin level skin tone. The foundation tends to be a little bit too dark. But that being said, considering I consider myself a 290 in the foundation during my summer months, I got number 11 because it looked good. But then looking at everything else in the line and how flexible things were, I was like, I don't know my exact shade. So I got 8, 9, and 10 as well. Skin tints themselves are really interesting. As the marketing for this product is like launching online, they're really wanting this to be a very versatile, easy to use product. So just put some on your hand, slather it on your face, you'll be good to go. Really nice Pro Filt'r finish with the product, but with a lot of ease of application without all the extra tools and products. What I'm going to be doing for today is I'm going to be swatching the shades I have in front of me on my cheek and my forehead to kind of see what they look like on the skin. And then I'll also be swatching them next to the foundation, the concealer, and the matchstick that I use most generally for my skin tone, just to see how the colors compare. Once I decide the shade I'll be using for my wear test, I'll be prepping my skin with the Fenty Skin Hydra Visor just to see how they pair together. And then I'll be doing a full 8-hour wear test to see the coverage, the look, the feel, and the overall wear of the product on the skin. I am a Fenty Beauty boy through and through. I love the Pro Filt'r products, so I just want to see what this looks like, how it feels, and whether or not it's going to be a holy grail specifically for summer coming right around the corner. So this is what the packaging for the product looks like. You get 32 ml in this for, I believe here it is about 30 pounds. I don't know what it is in USD. I'll have it on screen. But for reference, each of the Pro Filt'r foundations also has 32 ml in the packaging. So just shows you that the shape of the packaging doesn't necessarily say a lot. But we're gonna start off with the first shade, and this is 8. I'll swatch that right. This will be shade 9. This is going to be shade 10. And the last shade is number 11. So you have 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. They look really interesting. And here the swatches on my skin look different than on the arm swatches that Fenty dropped. I'm going to have on screen the exact color matches that Fenty themselves talked about just based off the Pro Filt'r foundations and why I kind of had a hard time choosing just because some of them, especially shade number 10, what foundations they matched to didn't make sense to me. And now seeing it on the skin, it still doesn't make sense to me. I argue this would actually be a really cute color for me, and it doesn't match the 270 foundation they said that it matched to because that's really cool tone and I'm not cool tone. Looking at these though, I think arguably these two are going to be better matches for different parts of my face. My forehead is darker than the center of my face. So after 8 through 11, I have the Matchstick in Maple, Pro Filt'r Concealer in 290, and this is the Pro Matte Foundation in 290, so you can see what those compare to. Right now, during the winter, more often than not, I'm usually the matchstick or the concealer, but during the summer when I'm more tan, I get up into the foundation range. For me, it's really the undertone that matters. With the 290 foundation, that's the only undertone that's really good for my skin. I just wish they had it in a more fair shade. Since I was confused and wasn't sure what shade I should choose, here I have number 8 on this side of my face, and this is number 10. While I feel number 8 matches the center of my face a little bit better, number 10 just looks a lot healthier on my skin. This looks almost casket ready, mineral sunscreen like. So I'll be using number 10 for today's demo. Okay, so I'm gonna be Fenty skin prepping using the fat water and the hydrovisor. First, I'm gonna take it on a cotton pad just to make sure I got all these swatches off. And then I'll also be prepping half my face with the hydrovisor because A, you should always be wearing sunscreen, but also B, I imagine these two are gonna look really good together, so. Prep this side of my face because I love the really radiant finish of the hydrovisor and it works well with the Pro Filt'r mattifying products, but I want to see how it works with the skin tint specifically just because I don't know the exact finish and wear the skin tint. So that's why I'm only prepping this side with the hydrovisor. So as I'm letting the skincare set down, again, I'm going to be using shade 10. I will be applying this with my hands on one side of my face. That's kind of how they're marketing the product, but truth be told, I despise applying product with my hands. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like feeling messy. I also don't enjoy the way it necessarily looks on the skin a lot of times. But I will be trying it out. And on the other side, I will be using a brush, specifically the number 110 Fenty Beauty Foundation brush, because this is what I use the most oftentimes. I do have some stuff to cover up, especially over here, my under eyes. I'm not gonna spot conceal or color correct or anything. I really wanna see what kind of coverage I can get from these. So this is gonna be solely these products. And I'll be setting with a little bit of powder, and then I might bronze a little bit, but that'll be it. Okay, let's get to it. So here is the product. I got no idea how much to use, but I'll be going in with my hands on this side of my face and working it in. So right off the bat, that was a lot of product, but high key, it's like working into my skin really well. It has a nice like semi-silky feel to it. It's not very rich. It's not too emollient and moisturizing. And here on my under eye, I like let a little bit more product accumulate. I'm just gonna like stipple that in with my finger just to get as much coverage build up there, just to see how much it covers my under eye darkness. But you can see that's what number 10 looks like. It busts into the beard really nicely. I don't know if you got beards or not. Hairline and whatnot, it looks good. It's not collecting in my brows. It's not collecting in my like expression lines or my like under eye fine lines either. Let me try to see if I can get a little more coverage under the eye. You can see here I got a couple more acne scars and blemishes. I'm gonna just spot correct with a little bit more of the product. Okay, so here's half application with just the hands compared to no application at all. You can see what it looks like. I think it has really nice, decent capabilities in like evening out skin tone, giving you sheer to medium coverage on top of some blemishes, scarring, imperfections. Doesn't do a lot for my under eyes, but overall, I'm not mad at it. Let's do this side with the foundation brush now. I'm gonna be taking what's left on my hand and just kind of stippling it around. On this side, I do have a little bit more to cover it up, so we'll see what we can get from that. I will say, someone who hates applying makeup with hands, I didn't actually hate this experience. The texture of this is nice and lightweight enough that A, it's really weightless. I don't feel this on my skin at all. But also, I don't feel like it leaves a really greasy sensation feeling in my hands. Like it's hard to clean off or that it like makes my hands feel dirty. I still will probably use a brush. I'm not mad at that. In terms of how it's applying and how I'm feeling with it, I feel like in the matter of 5 minutes, I can just slap this on, spot conceal, set it, and be out the door very easily. So I am really appreciating the ease of use. Can I get that with the foundation too? Yeah. So this is with approximately the same amount of product I use on this side, but with the brush applied, and it looks okay. You can still see my zits. So I'm going to try just one more thing, taking a smaller shadow brush and with the same product, just trying to spot conceal and kind of really get more concentration where I want a little bit more coverage just to see. So I'm just gonna dab that on the zits real quick. And I'm gonna let those cook there for like 30 seconds just to get some of the pigment to adhere and get a little bit more coverage before I buff it out. Okay, so after 30 seconds, I'm just gonna go and blend those out. And so overall, that's how we're looking. Here's shade 10, hand application versus brush application with some focusing on spot concealing as well with the same product. I think overall it looks good. Finish-wise, I'm getting radiant natural finish, but here's a T, I have oily skin. So I'm gonna set this because I'm not trying to be a grease ball out there. So I'll be taking the Pro Filt'r setting powder and just doing a light dusting, especially in my T-zone, just to see what oil control I can get as well. Also worth noting, it's not collecting collecting in my under eye like creases. I have like a freaking cavern under this one eye. It's not collecting, it's not creasing. It actually looks really smooth, so that's definitely a plus. Just going to press some powder up under there. Powder over here as well. Okay, so here we are, set and everything. First impressions looking at this right now on the skin. My skin looks really, really good. It looks fairly blurred for the most part, but that's something I get from all the Fenty products. My skin doesn't feel heavy. I can't tell I'm really wearing this. And overall color and blendability, even with the hand side, looks phenomenal. So I'm really happy with this. It is currently 12:45, so I'm gonna try to get 6, 7, hopefully 8 hours out of this just to see what it looks like, to hopefully get this review up by today. I'm gonna be staying home, so I'm not doing nothing crazy. Overall, I'm very excited, very optimistic. Stay tuned. So here we are after 7 hours of wearing this, and I didn't anticipate it being this long, but as you can see, we have some things to talk about. Looking at my face, the first thing I will say is I'm not as greasy as I could be. Again, this was the hydrovisor side. This was just a moisturizer side. I did lightly set my full face, but I really wanted to test what the oil controlling abilities of this was gonna be, / how it would wear on my oily skin. And truth be told, I'm not mad at this. I didn't blot at all, and normally I would blot my T-zone throughout the day. I also would have pressed more powder into my face, real talk. But I'm not mad at this. I look radiance. I look shiny. I don't feel like I look like a grease trap though, and I have had that happen from certain foundations and skin tints before. So I want to touch on some of the claims of the product first though. I'm on Fenty Beauty's website, and just because I want to compare this to like what the Pro Filt'r Foundation claims are normally. And what this really claims to do is provide an instant blurring effect. It gives you light to medium coverage depending on how you want to build it up and how you want to apply it. Their quick blur complex gives you a hydrating diffuse effect. It's a smooth texture that layers well with primer and skincare. Applies well with fingers or brush, which is what I did on each side. And then this is humidity, sweat, and transfer resistant. Touching on some of those claims, does this blur? Initially, yes, but I feel like with a combination of all the Fenty Beauty products, you do get that effect. Throughout the day, as things kind of wear, my pores start to show, things don't look as blurred and as perfect. But if you touch up throughout the day continuously, especially with their new pressed powder or with their Invisimatte powder, you can kind of maintain that effect throughout the entire day. Buildable light to medium coverage, 100%. With going through with a couple layers on my hand on this side and even just one layer with a brush on this side, I had pretty good control over how sheer or how full I wanted the coverage, especially with that trick of putting a little bit more of a dense coverage over a spot, letting it sit for like 30 to 60 seconds, and then diffusing that out over some of my blemishes. But you do have decent control. This is something that's going to give you a more natural skin effect. If you want to spot conceal certain things, a concealer will be necessary though, as you can see from my zits. I had a lot of issue color matching with this. Again, my skin tone is weird. 290 is my preferred undertone in the foundation, but it's a little bit too dark for me. I wish I had a lighter shade with that same exact undertone. So when it comes to the foundations, I do tend to mix, and right now I am much more fair because this London winter has not done me good. I was already confused as to what my color match would be. I know I tend to prefer the Matchstick and Maple as a more true to form winter shade for me. That technically, under Sephora's whole system, matches 290 foundation still. When I saw these swatches that Fenty launched, I saw shade number 10 automatically. I was like, that will be my shade. It just looks like a good color. But looking at what shades in the foundation, Fenty said that the skin tint matched to. It was 255, which is warm with very golden undertones, and 270, which is cool with peach undertones, which I'm neither of those. So the fact that that's the one that worked best for me is odd, especially because number 11, which is meant for 290, is dark, and it's just a very warm undertone that also doesn't work for my skin either. This is one where I want to know, if you bought this, did you have as much of an issue color matching this as I did? Because it isn't as straightforward as you're making it seem. If you're 290, also let me know if you had the same issue. With the quick blur hydrating effect that they talk about, looking at the ingredients list, there's a couple like humectant-based ingredients. You have serine, you got sodium hyaluronate, trehalose, and urea, which those are primarily just some lightweight humectants. So you are getting some humectant benefits from this. If I were to compare the texture of this though, what I really like about it and what I've been DMing people about is that this doesn't have a very oily feel. Does it feel kind of silicone-y? Yes. But compared to like the Ilia skin tint, this is a much more lightweight, arguably more oily skin appropriate skin tint. I'm really enjoying the texture and feel of this. Is it hydrating? Yeah. It applies well with the fingers and brush, 100% agree with that. I don't normally enjoy hand application. If I had to though, this would be a nice formula for it. It's nice and lightweight and it doesn't leave a really nasty feeling on my hand, but I would still prefer a brush with this. And then humidity, sweat, and transfer resistant. Is this cry resistant? Yes, I was laying down on the couch and I took a nap and I did that thing where like you lay down and like you start crying. I got no traces of those tears. And then in true Fenty Beauty form, I would argue this does offer very long wear ability. And after 7 hours, I look pretty decent. I haven't noticed any breaking up here on either side, whether it's my regular gel moisturizer side or a little bit more of the radiant hydrovisor side. It looks really good on my skin. So I feel like this is one that would throughout the day would deteriorate gracefully. What I will say though is I accidentally rubbed my face on the inside of my sweater and it did did rub off, but it was a more aggressive rub. If you are blotting or just lightly patting your face, I don't think you'd have an issue necessarily with this rubbing off. Again, normally I would, as an oily skin individual, take powder and press that into my T-zone just to ensure a much more thorough set. I didn't do that today, so I will definitely be playing around with this more, especially featuring this with more of my Fenty Beauty complexion products. Normally I would color correct, conceal, bronze, and press powder in, so this was just really winging it, seeing how the product itself worked with as little interference as possible. So stay tuned. In a week, I will be doing a full Fenty beat showing my glass skin technique using this. In that time between now and then, I will for sure be playing with the product in terms of how I apply it, what I pair it with, what I prep my skin with, just to see overall how this does pair. I'm really excited to try this with the pressed foundation powder, so make sure you hit the notification bell to receive notifications for my 1-week follow-up thoughts on these skin tints. In terms of the packaging, my big pro with this is I love the compactness of this packaging. It's small, it's sleek, it's very travel friendly, which is great for the person on the go. What I love about this product is that's what it seems like the concept was behind this. The person on the go, they want something that's very quick, very minimal effort, and this is something that you can just throw in a bag and it's good. This is the same size in terms of volume of the other foundations. It's just much more sleek packaging, which I really enjoy. So make sure you hit the notification bell. Next week, I will be doing my glass skin tutorial featuring this product and how I use it with my other Fenty Beauty products. And at that point, I will touch on some other thoughts and aspects in terms of how I've tested this and how my thoughts have changed on this over the course of a week. So all that said, considering my first day impression, it looks okay for what it is, letting it do its own thing. And I would argue, based on how you prep your skin for it and how you actually set your face, this is definitely going to be oily skin friendly. I'm interested to see what it's like during the summer. But overall, considering what it promises to do, the price point for it being Fenty and my experience with it, I will say it is Ramon recommended. Am I Fenty biased? 106%. But is this cute? 106%. Also, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and down below in the comments tell me, did you get this product? Are you gonna get this product? Did you have as much of an issue color matching as I did? And tell me, what are some other Fenty Beauty products you love, or what else do you want to see Fenty Beauty come out with? Sound off. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.